In this video we'll be looking at some of the tools you can use on the NAFI site to help you find out more about an active fire. Now you can see we've zoomed in here on the NAFI site to an actively burning fire, and you can find out quite a bit about fires like this from just looking at the colours of the fire scars and hotspots. So in the centre here we have a recent fire scar, and then in the east here we have a broad band of older hotspots, and the north in blue, and finally on the outside we have these very recent hotspots in pink. So it looks like this fire has spread from somewhere in the centre here and is now moving out to the east and the north, finishing up with a fire front on the edge. Now to find out more about fires like this, you can go to the menu along the top of the map and choose Track Fires here on the left. Clicking on that will bring up a new set of tools in the left hand menu that will help you keep track of a fire that's actively burning. The first of these tools are shown under the heading Show Recent Burnt Areas, and what they do is provide a series of map layers that display areas of country on your map that have been burnt in the last 1, 2 or 3 years. And this can be useful particularly in the far north, where you might have pretty regular rainfall, often limited grazing pressure, and it's often the time since country was most recently burnt that is a good guide to the levels of grassy fuel. So the more recently burnt an area was, the less fuel it might have and the more effective it might be in pulling up a fire. As you go further south, you'll see often more variable rainfall, you may have significant grazing pressure, and so these conditions then need to be taken into account when thinking about fuel. But even so, these sort of maps can still be useful. Now to see how they work, we'll select for this map the burnt 2010 to 2013, the current year, and then it'll bring up these fire scars in different shades of pink and red, with the darker colours being the more recent years. Just check here on the legend on the right to be sure you know what colours refer to what years. Here the recent scar associated with this fire is in dark red, but you can see also this dark pink area around the fire showing it was burnt just last year in 2012. So this area may have limited fuel, whereas these areas here to the northeast and also to the southwest and southeast were burnt longer ago in 2011 and earlier, and so may have more fuel. So these maps can help you estimate the levels of fuel that may lie in the path of a fire, but you do need to know those other local conditions. To go back to your standard map, you can either click this link here, Standard Map, in the left hand menu, or regardless of what menu you may have on the left, you can always click this link up here, Display Standard Map, and it'll take you back to your map of current fire scars and hotspots. Now moving on to this next group of tools under Check Fire Spread, they'll help you check how a fire might have been spreading to the current point in time. The first of these tools is called Get Hotspot Times, and what it'll do is allow you to check the times that hotspots in a given area have been detected by satellites. It works, you click on the Get Hotspot Times link, you'll then notice that your cursor has a yellow circle at the end of it, and this will allow you to click on the map and draw out a boundary. So create a boundary around the hotspots you're interested in, double click to finish, and then in this particular tool what you should see is a table which you can move around if you want, and this table has a series of rows, each row of which has information on a hotspot. If you look carefully, you'll see that as you highlight each row, the hotspot itself is highlighted in yellow on the map. Now it's ordered this table with older hotspots at the top, and you can use the slider bar to go down with the most recent hotspots at the bottom. In each row of this table on the left we have the time that the satellite detected the hotspot concerned, and that's in Central Standard Time or Northern Territory time. The next column across shows you the organisation that we got the hotspot data from, then the satellite that detected the hotspot, and finally a number, log ID, which is given to each satellite pass, and the NAFI managers use that for troubleshooting. So what this tool can be used for is, for example, to help you estimate the speed at which a fire might be moving by looking at the hotspot times. It can also help you estimate when a fire reached a particular point by looking at the hotspot times. To exit the tool, click on the little cross in the upper right. The other tool in this section is called Animate Hotspots, and as its name implies, what it does, it'll animate the hotspots in a given area and sort of create a mini movie of those hotspots, and that gives you a much more graphic idea of how a fire is spreading. So we'll click on this link here. It'll then bring up a control box, and the first thing you want to do is click the Select Area button, and again a little circle will show at the end of your cursor, allowing you to select an area of hotspots that you want to animate. Again, double click, and next you click the play button, which will essentially play your movie of hotspots. So by clicking on that, you will soon see the hotspots begin to cycle through colours of orange, red and grey, orange being when it's detected, and then it fades to red and grey. And as you can see, it gives you a graphic idea of how the fire is spreading. Now once your movie has finished, you can use the slider bar here to go back through the movie and review it. The movie doesn't go away, you can just review how those hotspots are changing at your leisure, with the times of the view of colours you're looking at being shown below the slider bar here. Now if you want to reselect your area on this map, you can just click Select Area again, and if you want to exit the tool, just click this cross. Now this tool can't be used to animate a great number of hotspots, but it's useful for individual fires. Now the other tools we have in the Track Fires menu are under Check Conditions, and they'll allow you to check the cloud cover from the most recent satellite pass, which is useful for working out how effectively fires are being detected in your area, as well as displaying lightning strikes, most recent lightning strikes. There's also Check for Updates, and that'll show you when the latest fire scars and the latest hotspots were uploaded to the NAFI site. We also have the Email Alert tool, but it's not available on this test site. So that's about it for the Track Fires menu.